A horrifying tragedy has shattered the streets of Woolwich, southeast London. A 14-year-old boy, just a child, was brutally stabbed to death in broad daylight while riding a double-decker bus. One moment, he was just another passenger. The next, he was fighting for his life. Panic and screams filled the bus as bystanders watched in shock, unable to stop the horror unfolding before their eyes. Medics fought desperately to save him, but it was too late. His young life was stolen in an act of senseless violence. Police call it a horrendous crime, and the community is in mourning, fear, and outrage. No child should ever meet such a fate, yet the killer is still out there. Authorities are working at full speed to track down those responsible, but they need your help. How did this happen? And more importantly, who will be next if nothing changes? Stay with us as we uncover the tragic details behind this devastating loss. The incident. On Tuesday at around 14:30, the teenager was on board a 472 double-decker bus on Woolwich Church Street when he was viciously attacked. Witnesses recall a sudden commotion before realizing the gravity of the situation. Emergency services, including police, paramedics, and the London Air Ambulance, rushed to the scene after an officer on patrol raised the alarm. Despite the desperate efforts of medics to save the young victim, he succumbed to his injuries soon after. The identity of the boy has not been disclosed, but his death has left a deep scar on the local community. Police investigation and statements. The Metropolitan Police have launched a manhunt for the assailant, vowing to work at pace to track down those responsible. Chief Superintendent Louise Sargent, Deputy Commander for the area, expressed deep sorrow over the crime and extended her sympathies to the victim's family and friends. "This is a horrendous crime, and I can't imagine what they must be going through right now," she said. "I know this will be a worrying time for everyone here in Woolwich, and all the more so given the very young age of the victim." In the wake of the attack, additional police officers have been deployed in the area to reassure the public and deter further violence. Rising concerns over knife crime. This stabbing is the latest in a series of violent incidents involving teenagers in London. According to reports, the victim had recently laid flowers for another teenage boy, Dejon Campbell, 15, who was stabbed to death on 22 September last year, less than a mile and a half away from Tuesday's incident. The alarming rise in knife crime has left residents feeling unsafe. Anti-knife crime advocate Mark Rodney from Project Lifeline emphasized the urgent need for stronger community action to combat violence among youths. Community reactions and safety concerns. The local community is reeling from the tragedy. BBC London journalist Jem O'Reilly reported a tense atmosphere in Woolwich as police cordons remained in place, affecting daily life. Parents and residents are deeply concerned about the growing frequency of such violent attacks. A local mother, Kate, who also works nearby, voiced her fears about the worsening safety situation. "It's a bit daunting. I have a child, and I'm a bit afraid of walking up and down this road, and even in this area in general, it's becoming a bit dangerous," she said. "It's so scary, and now these things are happening in broad daylight. It's not nice." Another resident, Abigail, a mother of 2, lives just minutes away from the crime scene. She stressed the importance of community involvement in safeguarding children. "Now is the time for this community to come together to protect our children," she said. Similar attacks and unrelated incidents. In a separate, unrelated incident, an 18-year-old man was stabbed on Monday afternoon in nearby Prince Imperial Road, Woolwich. He was admitted to the hospital, though his condition remains undisclosed. These back-to-back violent attacks have further heightened concerns over safety in the area. Authorities have reported that in 2024 alone, 11 teenage boys have lost their lives to homicide in London. The continuous cycle of violence has prompted calls for more rigorous measures to curb knife crime, including increased police presence, better community policing, and stronger youth outreach programs. Appeal for witnesses and information. The police are urging anyone who witnessed the incident or has information that could aid the investigation to come forward. Detectives are reviewing CCTV footage and speaking to potential witnesses to piece together the events leading up to the fatal stabbing. Crime scene cordons and some road closures are still in place as forensic teams work meticulously to gather evidence. A Metropolitan Police spokesperson encouraged community members to report any suspicious activity. If you saw something, no matter how small, please reach out to us. Your information could be vital in bringing justice to this young boy and his grieving family. Government and law enforcement response. The tragic death of this 14-year-old has reignited the debate over tackling knife crime in London. Law enforcement agencies and local government officials are under increasing pressure to implement stronger measures to prevent youth violence. Community leaders are calling for greater investment in youth engagement programs to steer young individuals away from crime. Schools and organizations are also being urged to educate children on the dangers of carrying weapons and resorting to violence. The fatal stabbing of a 14-year-old boy on a London bus is yet another heartbreaking reminder of the escalating knife crime crisis. As police continue their search for the killer, the community of Woolwich mourns the loss of a young life cut short by senseless violence. Authorities are working tirelessly to bring justice to the victim and his family, but the broader question remains: what more can be done to protect the youth from such tragic fates? If you have any information about this incident, please contact the Metropolitan Police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. Let's work together to end this cycle of violence and ensure our streets are safe for everyone.